Hello, and welcome to this week's edition of Money Matters, because after all, money does matter. I'm going to talk to you now about Doncaster, my home that was a commercial conversion from a care home to a family home. We've lived here for 17 years and now we're moving to Doncaster. And I want to talk to you about service accommodation. But first, I want to talk to you about why I'm selling the house. If I don't sell the house and I do go and buy another home in Doncaster, that's going to be a second home. I go and buy that second home in Doncaster. The property I'm buying in Doncaster is over £1 million. So that's going to be an extra 3% stamp duty over and above the stamp duty I've got to pay anyway. So just on £1 million house, that's £30,000. So there's a £30,000 reason to sell this house. Second reason, if I sell this house now, it's my family home. I bought it for 450,000 years ago, and it's now worth 1.3, 1.4 million. So I'm almost at £1 million in capital gains. So if I sell the house now, while it's still my family home, then I don't have to pay any capital gains tax. So I get £1 million tax-free. That's a pretty strong reason to sell it. So two reasons that I can think of, maybe you can think of more. If you can think of any more, then put them in the chat box comments below the Money Matters thing here, video. So I've got £30,000 worth of stamp, well actually more because I'm paying over £1 million for it, but let's call it £30,000. I've got £30,000, the 3% extra money stamp duty reason to sell the house. So I'm not buying my next home as a second family home. And I can crystallise the capital gains so that I get £1 million tax-free, because I bought the house for 400k, sell it for 1.4 million, get £1 million tax-free. Happy days. That's two reasons to sell it. What about reasons not to sell it? And balance is everything. There's always pros and cons to almost every argument. Why don't I want to sell it? Well, house prices double on average every 7 to 10 years. So to get some temporary tax advantage, how does that weigh up against the capital appreciation that I'll receive if I keep this property? And also, if I keep this property and run it as service accommodation, I can claim capital allowances. The capital allowances that I'll get on this property, given the price that I'm selling it at, when I use it as service accommodation, are going to be roughly £600,000. Now, I know you might not all know what capital allowances are, but let's just say at a very simple level, they're an amount of money that you can earn tax-free. So I'm a 45% taxpayer. So if I can earn £600,000 tax-free, that's going to save me 45% in tax. Well, 50% of 600,000 is £300,000 in tax, real hard, cold pounds. So 45% is going to be, what is that going to be? 10% is 30k, so it's 15. So it means I'm going to save £285,000 in tax that I can then go and use to spend on something else. That's a pretty strong reason to not sell it. But the £1 million in capital gains still outweighs it. So here's the challenge. How can I get both? How can I get the tax advantages of selling it and the ownership advantages of keeping it? There's a challenge for you. So what do you think I'm doing? What I'm doing is I'm selling this property to an LLP, to a limited liability partnership that I own. So I'm actually selling the property, which means I'm crystallising the capital gains and I'm avoiding the extra 3% stamp duty, but I'm selling it to an LLP that I own, a limited liability partnership that I own, or I actually own with Anico, we own, which means I get the benefits of the capital allowances and the benefits of the ownership and the income stream from service accommodation. How about that for a win double? So let's now look at specifically what is an 8-bedroom luxury £1 million plus property worth as a service accommodation unit on the west coast of Scotland, 5 miles from Loch Lomond. And at the bottom of my garden, there's the sea, as you've seen from the other shots. How much can I get for this? Is there a market for it? Well, this house sleeps 16 people comfortably. 5 bathrooms, it's fine. Snooker room, jacuzzi, this is a very good house for entertaining. So what sorts of people would stay here? Well, number one, Loch Lomond is an international centre for weddings. People come from all over the world to get married at Loch Lomond, but they don't come for 2 days. They tend to come for a week or 10 days. So could the groom's wedding party or the bride's wedding party or a bunch of friends going to the wedding come and stay here? Absolutely. Is this a good place to hold training and retreats? Yeah, how do I know? Because I've done it for my own training company, Touchstone. Groups of cyclists, groups of bird watchers, groups of golfers. Can we provide them with caterers? Can we pick them up from the airport? Can we give them a live-in chef? Absolutely. Do we need to do all those sorts of things at this level of quality of service department? Yes, we do. And we've done the research. If you look 6 months ahead, 9 months ahead, there's nothing available in this area where you can put that amount of people. Now, it isn't that there aren't that type of unit. There isn't many, but there are some. When we did the research, the earliest that we could get a property like this, anything like this, is 11 months ahead. Everything else is fully booked. And even then, that property, we're about 25 minutes from Glasgow Airport here. We've got 2 trains an hour from the local train station, go to the middle of Glasgow. The property that I could find that's kind of equivalent to this, that one could sleep 14 people. You'd have to drive into the back of beyond for another hour further than here to get there. It's really not like for like. But even then, here's the punchline. How much are they charging per night for that one that I can't even get until next year? £1,500 per night. So my estimate for this one, when we move out as a family and move down to Doncaster and put it on the market, service accommodation, my estimate is that we're going to get bookings in the range of £1,800, possibly as high as £2,000 per night or per day. How's that going to stack up in terms of income? Well, I'm going to have to put a mortgage on this place, and I'm probably going to put a mortgage on it round about the 800,000 mark. What's that going to cost me per month? I'm going to put a repayment mortgage on it. It's going to cost me about £5,000 a month. I put that and all the booking fees, booking.com, cleaning, housekeeping, all of the other things. A good rule of thumb normally for smaller properties is that 40% of your turnover is profit. When you get to something like this, it's going to be more like 60%. But let's keep it easy. Let's say it's only 50%. So that means for every night it's booked, after paying all my mortgages, all my costs, all my housekeepers, all my linen, all my everything, I'm going to make £1,000 a night. Now, even if I'm only booked 70% of the time, which is ridiculous because there's nothing around here that's available for a year, virtually, but let's take 70%. That means this property is going to make me £20,000 a month. One property. And I don't have to pay tax on the first 600,000. Now, I know you've maybe seen me before running around 1-bedroom flats and 2-bedroom flats. And I'm not saying they're not good serviced apartment units. But what I wanted to show you is a big, proper, expensive serviced apartment. Because price is what you pay, value is what you get. So I want you to think about properties like this in two ways. If you've got the capital and the firepower, buy it. But even if you haven't, could you do a rent to rent on a lease, something this size? And if you did, would it pay you fantastic, handsome dividends? I'm going to say yes. Because you just need one of these, one property like this, an 8-bedroom monster, and you got complete and absolute financial freedom right there. Never mind £5,000 a month. This can give you £5,000 a week. So I want you to think on that. So I'd spent just over £500,000 to create something that was worth more than $1 million. Then, years later, I've moved out of it, enjoyed further capital appreciation, sold it to an LLP. Now, I know I might be making your head a little bit dizzy here, but what I'm trying to do is prove to you that it's worth getting the basics of company structure, tax, capital allowances, understanding how to use them, and then actually using them. Because this property is going to make us, as a family, of the order of another £20,000 a month. It's nice, isn't it? That's like 10 times the average salary in the UK. Having one house like this is like having 10 people work for you full time and then give you all their money. So how can you get properties that are the equivalent of having full-time people working for you and they give you all their money? And every time you open a service department like this, of this quality, you bring so much money and investment and spend to your local area. It's unbelievable. Unbelievable. This one property will bring hundreds of thousands, if not millions of pounds of benefit to the local restaurants, taxi companies, aircraft flights, quad bike tours, fishing, all of the stuff. I mean, weddings, for goodness sake, how much do people spend on weddings? Incredible amounts of money. So I want to encourage you to think about big serviced accommodation units that add lots of value to you as a family, to you as an individual, and to the local economy. I hope you've enjoyed this edition of Money Matters, because after all, money does matter. Get your comments in the chat box below. Ask your questions. I'll answer them. The team will pick out their favourite comments and questions, and they'll give them to me in my special Money Matters Q&A every month. And you get to grill me with whatever questions you want to know about commercial conversions, about service accommodation, about whatever property strategy you want, or whatever financial strategy you want. And I'll do my level best to answer it for you. If you've liked this edition, please literally like it and share it with your friends. If you're not already a subscriber, please subscribe to our channel, our YouTube channel. You've been wonderful. I've been Paul. See you next time. Bye-bye.